welcome to this belated edition of Drink Like a Fish.
No thanks to your gene pool.
No thanks to my daughter, who decided to come a few weeks early, 3 or 4 to be exact. Completely ruined the episode that we were shooting before, but that's fine.
She didn't ruin the episode, you ruined the episode. We were going to keep shooting, but he had to freak out. Oh my god, we're going into labor, water broke. Ah.
For you loyal fans that have watched the show before, you will recognize Brendan for from our Moonshine episode. Do you?
I think that
First of all,
I didn't know I was going to know you guys so well this way. but you are going to know me.
Just wait till we break out the second jar, then we're really going to get to know you.
Horrific. So Brendan's here, and I'm going to let you go ahead and take the lead and describe what you have brought us.
Okay, so I went to the Granite Brewery while I was up in Toronto the last couple of days, and I stopped in. This is actually the second time that I've been there in 3 years, and I specifically went in there for their best bitter. I had it last time that I was there, and it was just excellent. I had it again while I was there on draft, and it was excellent. Unfortunately, they did not have any to go.
Fail
in the growler. But what they did have, what the bartender recommended was their most popular, is their peculiar strong ale. 5.6% alcohol by volume. I've not tried it yet. I have not even seen it poured.
Porn. You've seen porn? I know you've seen porn. I've seen porn. Oh!
Anyway. So this is going to be as much of a surprise for me as it is for you guys. So.
Awesome. I did do a little research on the interweb, on the World Wide Web, and from what I found before, this is supposed to be like a bourbon oak barrel. It's brewed with bourbon oak barrels, so it's supposed to have kind of a bourbon smell and a very oaky finish. So it should be malty within that. I mean, that should tell you right off the bat, it should be malty.
They did make the People's Choice in the Toronto Beer Festival this year, so he was accurate with that information. That it was their most popular.
Is it Toronto or Toronto?
Well, it's up in Canada, so who cares?
To our Canadian sponsors, who we have
well
none. That's right. Well,
that's right.
Start the anthem and the 4th of July.
The country that enjoys safety only because they're above the United States.
But they have gun laws that are like, if you want to carry a gun, go for it. I don't care whatever you're about.
They're very strict in Canada.
Are they really? I thought you were able to shoot whatever the hell you want.
No, they're pretty strict up there.
I'm going to edit this out to where I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Once again, Brian has no idea what he's talking about. I'm seeing a pattern. I'm selling some bitter
The
hops
chief
and some
export, though,
watermelon.
is hockey players and beer, so we're getting at least 50% of that here today.
Am I too old to say Shania Twain? Does that not count anymore? No. All right. Okay, so something interesting to note. It wasn't a very, there's aggressive pours and there's very, where you tilt it to the side and you twist the bottle.
So you don't have that much head.
I think I did a relatively decent pour.
Right.
And if you notice these right off the bat, there is zero head.
Nothing.
It died right off the bat. That is indicative of a beer that was used with extract, and not naturally like all grain hops or all grain brewing. You're looking at me like you just go with me on this. There's a school of thought, especially with home brewing, and I'll dip into home brewing a little bit, that head and lacing is key to the taste, is key to the value of the beer. And Canada is hit with a stigma that the head disappears right away, kind of like a woman right after you marry her. It's like there's no more head. That's it. It's done. It doesn't happen.
And sometimes before you marry them.
Is this thing on? So it may not detract from the taste. It's just interesting to point out that the head, within 30 seconds, 20 seconds, is gone.
Yes. Yeah.
Now that may have something to do with the fact that it's a growler. The growlers traditionally are only good for 2 weeks. I mean, usually once you pop them, it's not hermetically sealed like a normal beer is. It's pretty much they pour it in there, pop it, and you're good to go.
Let's also not forget that it was in my baggage on the way back, so it took a beating.
As every
Toronto,
Canadian should. It's
and then
take a
it
little bit of a
stopped
beating.
in New York City. Took a beating in New York City, and then again in Atlanta.
Oh, it's this Canadian beer, Heffel Fag. Bam, bam. Anyway, let's. As far as the look goes, it looks like a brown ale.
Yeah.
It is very, very brown. If you hold it up to the light, you cannot see through it at all. It's a light brown color. At the very, very bottom, it kind of has this caramel sort of look to it. But
it's like a very dark amber kind of. You know, when you first started pouring it, almost started reminding me of like a darker version of like a Yingling Lager almost, because that has an amber color to it.
or like a Newcastle.
Yeah.
Right.
Newcastle
Something
sort of
that
looks like
brown.
brown.
Yeah.
My expectations right now are really low.
Wow.
I have
Really?
to say that.
That's what she
said. Just based upon the pour and the look so
But
far, I'm not
my
even getting
my
into
pour or the pour of
the
the
pour
beer?
of the beer.
Oh.
Just not getting into the fragrance, not getting into anything yet. My expectations are very low.
Wow.
Well, let's get into the fragrance,
Mm.
as the Canadians would say. Is that French? Fragrance? Fragrance.
Parfum.
All right, I am getting a lot of malt on that, and I can smell
Sweet caramel.
sweet caramel. But
I'm getting like some chocolatey. Maybe that's the malt you're talking about.
if you do think of bourbon, though, you can get a hint of that bourbon cask. It was there's that look.
There's that look again. He's making shit up again.
Yes. Hold on, let me go to my note cards. It has the yeah.
See, it doesn't help that I just washed my hands with some kind of fruity shit that I'm sure your wife bought. But
Cheers.
it's a lot milder than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Well, with the name
Wow.
Peculiar Strong Ale,
Yeah.
but
Where's the strong?
it's
A little bit of an aftertaste.
it's actually a nice aftertaste.
Mm.
I don't mind that.
I'm not opposed to it. The head has died down a lot on it, but it seems kind of a little rode hard and hung up wet. I don't think that had much to do with the travel. I think it's the beer itself. It's just a little.
It's very muted. It's just very boring.
That's a pretty good
It's just,
way to describe it.
I'm drinking nothing at all. It's just kind of a.
So what are you guys tasting? I am tasting the malt. I think right off the bat, you can definitely taste that malt because it doesn't. It's not hoppy at all. I don't think it has a hint of hop to it. It doesn't have a bite in that sense. It has more of like a coffee bean bite.
But very, very mild coffee bean. Like
Yeah.
For me, it's
like,
an aftertaste. It's not like you
Yeah.
say right off the bat. For me,
like
it's an
really
aftertaste.
weak coffee. I get a copper taste on my tongue after is part of the aftertaste for me.
You lick a lot of batteries, do you?
A lot. It's
Ow,
very,
quit it.
it's very
Ow, quit
metallic
it.
to me.
That's a good description. It's very metallic. Like if you were to brew beer off of like a metal silo and it would drain into a cup,
Yeah.
it would get some of those metallic rusty notes to it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to throw it out.
No.
But I would apologize to my guests for serving it.
Mm.
I would say I'm sorry. This beer might have gone a little bit flat.
If
or,
you gave a shit about your
Yeah,
guests.
that's
that's I
it's
said
like,
my guess. If
it
not,
wants to
Yo,
be.
but you're here. We're not at your place, so you
That's
don't
right.
give a
That's
fuck.
right. That's right.
Like, I feel like it wants to be something. Like it's so like I said, boring. But it's like there is some taste to it. There is some flavor to it, but it's like it's so deeply muted, like watered down almost. And I don't know if it's just like because you know the FAA decided to beat the shit out of the bottle on the way here. Or,
I'm hoping that's it. I want to give it. I want to give it that. The bartender.
Yeah.
So off the
bartender
tap,
Bob, who's been there for 3 years, he was there the first time I was there, and he was still there.
out of Granite
Out of the Granite Brewery.
in Canada.
He said out of the 2 beers, the best bitter was their most popular, but obviously bitter is a summer beer. It's a lot lighter. It has less alcohol. You can drink a lot of it. And it has a great taste.
Right.
Whereas this is a little bit stronger, darker. He said that this was a dark, strong beer, so it did not have as many followers, but it was very popular. I'm not getting the dark, strong beer. I don't know if that's a local thing or if it's a Canadian thing.
If they fuck with Americans.
At that point, I hadn't given him my credit card, so I could have been Canadian. I said a boot a lot.
A boot.
What's this beer a boot, eh? Maybe off of the draft, it might be better.
Right.
But coming this way, it's like the second day of a keg at a party that lasted too long.
Yeah. And you expect so much more because I mean, even the color and everything, it looks so bold, and then you take a sip from it, and you're like, wait for it.
And it was almost in an accident. Along with this, I had a lovely little pint glass that I was going to present to you, Brian Big Fish.
Really?
But as I was telling Double D earlier, the pedestrians in Toronto jump out like deer.
Yeah.
And,
look, it's an American, eh? Yeah.
One jumped out in front of the car in front of me, so they slammed on their brakes, so I slammed on my brakes, and this was sitting on the front seat in the same bag as the pint glass. Hit the dashboard, smash glass, and all I prayed was that the growler was okay, and it was. So the pint glass didn't make it. Maybe next time. Sorry, B.
Oh, Canada, you suck for breaking my glass. I mean, if I was ever in Canada and I was ever able to go up there, yes, I would love to try this from the tap to see what the difference is. But as this stands, is this my favorite brown ale? No. Is it drinkable? Yes. Is it a good brown ale? Yes. Does it represent everything that it should be? Yes. Is it the cast pajamas? You know, maybe not. But I would drink it again. And they are not sponsoring the show in any way, shape, or form. So.
I think the only way I would drink it again is if I was there and be able to drink it off the tap, just
Exactly.
to be able to make a determination of
Straight
whether or
from the
not
udder.
this is what it's supposed to taste like. If this is indeed what it's supposed to taste like straight from the tap, then I am underwhelmed and I think it's kind of forgettable.
Yep, I agree. Right from the teat or not at all.
Well, I am extremely hopeful, and these are 2 teat men. Like we always end this show, beer is the cure for what ails you. Get it? Because of the ale?
Cheers.